Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to day number 3 of the G-1 qualifier upper bracket action. 3 teams from this qualifier will be advancing into the main event. First up, we are going to have a rematch from a round 1 match, which we saw previously. Dreamz took that original match 2-0, but they used a stand-in from Mineski. Woots, the jungler support player, played really well, I might add, from what little I was able to catch. So we're here. We're going to see the rematch happen. Following the rematch, we will be moving on into the round 2 matches of the upper bracket. First off, we'll have the winner of this match, Dreamz versus ForLove from China, facing off against Flash. Whoever wins that following match, that Dreamz or FL versus Flash, they advance into the main event. There actually is no final. Don't be fooled by don't be fooled by this diagram. Whoever wins those semifinal matches, those round 2 matches in the upper bracket, those 2 teams qualify, and then from there, the winner of the loser bracket also qualifies. So there's a total of 3 teams that move on into the main event from this qualifier, and today we're going to find out who 2 of them are. The final match of the day will be EG versus Sequential Gaming. EG, certainly a bigger name on the scene, but Sequential Gaming, kind of an upstart team from Oceania, from New Zealand mostly. Should be an exciting match, but we're going to start with Dreamz versus ForLove, the rematch. I am LD of DotaCommentaries.com, and of course, joining me is none other than GGNet GoDz. GoDz, what do you expect to see as we move into this Dreamz versus ForLove match? For Dreamz, we have his keys to the game. The first one, and I think you can certainly speak to this, trust in Jules.
Absolutely. I mean, this is an interesting scenario where you're playing against a team once again. Jules was sort of, the player where Dreamz resolved their gameplay around. I mean, they had him both games. I believe he was playing that solo mid role on Saturday in their first matchup. First game was a Queen of Pain. Second game was a Shadow Fiend. The Queen of Pain wasn't really quite what I was expecting, where it's controlling the game. There was actually a lot more space created from the Rubik, as ForLove emphasized a lot on shutting down Queen of Pain. But his Shadow Fiend got absolutely massive. That was the key instrumental hero in Dreamz winning that game number 2 against ForLove. But here, once again, they're going to be probably running him in that solo mid lane, and he's the player who just has to get some momentum going, has to really control the game with that farm, and then build towards those big late game items, because he sort of acts as a solo mid, but he's generally that sort of 1 or 2 position carry at the same time.
That's a great point. And whenever you watch Dreamz, Jules is if not the most popular player from the Philippines, then he's up there, certainly in that top 3 or 4. Just such an exciting player to watch, has a massive fan base. For anyone who's not familiar with Pinoy Dota, Jules is just revered in their scene, sort of similar to perhaps Dendi in the West in terms of how the fans look up to him from that region. So we'll have to see if Jules can live up to that. He's a player who generally does perform in these big matches. Used to play for a long time for Mineski, probably one of the most, if not the most successful and accomplished Pinoy Dota players in the scene. And like you pointed out, it's not that he will necessarily have a knockout or sort of a breakout game, but whenever you're up against a player of Jules' caliber, you really want a game plan to try and limit what he can do, shut him down early, and make sure if he is getting started, if he is getting some, heating up a little bit, that you're getting some good trade-offs elsewhere on the map. So we'll have to see if ForLove can do it in this series. They weren't really able to shut him down too well in the original match, but hey, that match gets erased, and we have a fresh slate for today. The second key to the game for Dreamz Dota, it's control the aggression. And what we mean by this, guys, is, well, Pinoy teams love to tower dive. They love to be very aggressive, somewhat reminiscent of your CIS. These are sort of your Eastern European teams, where they just get a little bit cocky, a little bit over-aggressive, and then they can end up, if not throwing a game where they have an advantage, costing themselves a bit of an advantage. So how do you feel about Dreamz? I think you mentioned that there was a bit of back and forth where teams were sort of throwing away advantages in that earlier series, making some mistakes, and the other team was capitalizing.
Yeah, that game number 1 especially, there was a lot of back and forth. For the most of the early game, it looked like Dreamz were ahead. Then suddenly ForLove would take a really good fight and get in an advantageous position for themselves. So it was very back and forth. A lot of teams, both teams were actually playing quite aggressive in that game number 1. Game number 2 sort of slowed down a lot more, especially on ForLove's side when they picked up the Phantom Lancer, Keeper of the Light, sort of more sort of late game turtleish type of lineup. But game number 1, yeah, we saw Dreamz. They overextended at times, and it's one of those things where they want to be aggressive. If they want to win, they have to be aggressive, but they have to control it.
Well, you never know. Sometimes they put together these performances where everything's like a symphony, and they're being aggressive, but they're getting all the kills, they're making all the right decisions. And then you have times when you're a player who likes to dive towers, when you like to be aggressive, you can't help yourself. You want to try and force the issue, but you're not really in a position in the game, in the hero composition, to do so, and then it can end up hurting you. And the final point for Dreamz, play some Pinoy Dota.
Yeah, why the hell not? Play Pinot Dodo, play to your strengths. I mean, well, no point playing a different style to what you're used to. I mean, a lot of I would say the best example of a Filipino team who hasn't done it is Mineski. They came over to Dota 2, and they've been picking these lineups which they don't normally play in Dota 1. I mean, running heroes like Lone Druid. I mean, running these Morphling or Anti-Mage picks, which is just isn't really their style of play that's worked in Dota 1. Dreamz, I mean, so far it looks like they're staying true to themselves. They're playing Pinoy Dota. They had their solo Queen of Pain, the solo Rubik, solo Windrunners. They ran an aggressive tri-lane with Slardar, Shadow Demon. I mean, this is your typical Pinoy Dota. Strong tri-lane, two very mobile, hard-to-kill solos, and that's what they got to go with to beat ForLove.
And something that should be mentioned, and you've talked to me about it a lot as I've sort of been trying to wrap my head around Pinoy Dota, is they don't normally run their tri-lane hero as a hard carry. It's not like we're unlikely to see your hero like. Now, that's, to be fair, some teams have. It's not that all Pinoy Dota teams always play the same, but generally what we see are the two solos are normally the heroes who get the most farm, sort of the most priority as far as that farm goes. So they generally pick very strong solos. We see a lot of bottle crowing in Dota 1. That's where it originated. It's not as easy to perform in Dota 2. The courier mechanics just don't work quite as fluidly for these teams, so we haven't seen as much of it. But whether we see a lot of bottle crowing or not, we're definitely going to see those two solar heroes being really the playmakers, the pace setters for these teams. And most likely that's what we can expect coming out from Dreamz in this match. So when we say play Pinoy Dota, we mean play to your strengths, play to what you're comfortable with. And with all that being said, I think it's high time that we talk a little bit about Dreamz' opponent, ForLove. They struggled in the first match. Keys to the game. I'm going to start this one off by saying, shut down Jules. Don't let him get out of control in Shadow Fiend, or any other hard carry for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, if you can blunt his sword, basically the best way to put it. I mean, don't let him get out of control. Don't let him get those big items, and most importantly, get those kills. I mean, as soon as Dream sort of get some momentum, they build up that confidence. They start going more and more aggressive. Maybe they'll make a mistake here or there, but it's one of those things where if you put them on the back foot from the start, they're not a team who play all that well coming from behind.
It's a team that's just used to being ahead for the most part in the Pinoy games, and so it's a bit of an awkward position for them when they are behind. And when you're naturally aggressive, playing from behind is very difficult. That's why the Chinese teams usually are very good at making comebacks, because they're used to playing from time to time from behind, just making those smart, disciplined decisions. So shutting down Jules early is going to blunt the Dream's offensive. Along with that, sort of the corollary to that is to stay disciplined. Don't make mistakes. Don't get caught out of position. Don't give those openings for this aggressive lineup, this young lineup, to find the pickoffs and get the momentum rolling their way.
Yeah, they've got to really look out for. I mean, for ForLove, they've got to look out for when Dreams are overextending, get those counter ganks happening, predict sort of some of the movements, especially the movements of those solo heroes. I mean, most likely Jules going to be on that mid lane. The supports as well will like to move around the map gank, try sort of fix some of the lanes which aren't working for Dreams. So ForLove have to predict that, get the counter ganks happening, and prepare well for an aggressive Dream squad.
And the final point, as we're just about to dive into the game now, is to punish mistakes. Not only stay disciplined and limit the openings, but also go ahead and make sure that when Dreamz is going too far, when they're tower diving, your supports have TP scrolls, your counter initiators are ready to fight, you're not farming, you're not out of mana. All these small things can really compound and sort of snowball. You win one big fight, you punish the aggression once, they might be hesitant to do it again. But we are ready to dive right into the game. We are now underway, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 1 of ForLove against Dreamz, the rematch or the remake or whatever you'd like to call it. Round 1 action. The winner of this faces off against Flash Gaming, and the winner of that will advance into the main event, into the G-1 League, where you have an opportunity to compete for $52,000, a little bit over that in total prize pool. So with that, all that being said, let's talk about this draft, guys. ForLove on the dire side, picking up a Prophet and a Queen of Pain. Dreamz went for that first pick, Rubik, and you talked about this hero. It's a hero that Dreamz can be very dangerous with, really.
Yeah, I mean, it also doesn't reveal too much. I mean, they're one of the teams who'll run it as a support or a solo. Patty or JYC played it safe lane solo in that first game, and he was the one who actually had the most impact on that game. So maybe here they'll give to him, but they've picked up a Darkseer as well with their second pick, so maybe we'll see that Rubik played in a support role. ForLove, interestingly, have gone for, well, two sort of key semi-carry heroes, the Nature's Prophet and Queen of Pain. maybe even partially to deny the Queen of Pain from Jules. We saw him play that on Saturday, and it's something he played really well. So for now, I mean, ForLove not looking to sort of go for that slower pace, hard carry lineup, and it's Dreamz who pick up the Chaos Knight Dark tier for now.
You know, it's really interesting they ran the Rubik as a farmer like that, because oftentimes we see the Pinoy teams love to play him as a hard support in a tri-lane. It's something, in fact, I'd say they almost always do it. As of late, though, we have been seeing a little bit more of that solo Rubik, of that farming Rubik, and now they get their hands not only on Rubik, but also on Darkseer and Chaos Knight. Again, a lineup that has a lot of aggressive potential, great lockdown for dealing not only with Queen of Pain, but also Nature's Prophet. And to me, gods, this is one of those games where Earthshaker may just be perpetually frustrated trying to cast that damn fissure between Telekinesis, between Vacuum, between Chaos Bolt, and Reality Rift. Just so many ways to interrupt him and really frustrate him here if they do try to tower dive. That being said, Earthshaker probably the best hero in the game, outside of maybe Twin-Headed Dragon with the recent changes to Ice Path, at punishing aggression, at punishing those tower dives.
Yeah, a well-positioned Earthshaker is the best counter Giga there is. The problem is, and I think partly why he became less popular is because he isn't that mobile. He can only be protecting one carry hero, either your carry hero or maybe one of your solos. He can't really, by the time you TP to a lane where a gank's going on, it's generally too late. The hero dies in that sort of 2-3 seconds it takes to react in the TP channeling time. But if he's in the right position, I mean, there's no way Dream's going to get a kill on the carry or solo if Earthshaker's sitting behind them without having a huge advantage in numbers and firepower. So looking to go defensive, and I think at least somewhat defensive. Defensive with their support heroes. They've got the Queen of Pain and Nature's Prophet who can provide some firepower as well. They can go in the offensive with the solo mid Queen of Pain, get up some early levels and items, get some runes, and look to sort of find those ganks in the side lane. So they have their options to avoid the Dreamz ganks, set up some ganks of their own, and it's going to come down to what they pick up with these last two heroes. Whether they want to go for a hard carry or if they're content just to run this sort of more semi-carry-esque lineup with the Queen of Pain and Nature's Prophet. A hero I still haven't seen much of in the last couple of days is Bounty Hunter, and surprised that he's sort of seen a bit of an exit from competitive play.
I mean, how good would he be in a game like this? For on the side of Dreamz, although with the Darkseer, they might look to run that as one of their solos. And it's not clear if where they would put him right now. But let's say they run him as a jungler or even solo mid, to counter something depending on what goes there. Bounty Hunter would be great against here like Prophet, who loves to be spreading the map, split pushing, also very strong against Queen of Pain. And on the flip side, if Dreamz overextended, ForLove have their hands on that Bounty Hunter, between Prophet and Bounty Hunter and Queen of Pain, they could definitely chase you down, pick you off, and then you're getting tons of gold, tons of experience, especially with the 6.75 changes. Venomancer gets banned out by ForLove. Not sure exactly what this ban is about, just sort of banning out strong supports at this point. The Chen, the Venomancer. There is no Woots in this match, so we're not going to see his Chen, but it's still a pretty scary hero, especially when you have this many tower divers. Having Chen means they can dive and know that they're most likely going to have that Hand of God, most likely going to be able to survive, even if they're aggressive.
Yeah, and I think Dreamz do have a Chen play of their own. I mean, it's a hero they've used quite a bit in Dota 1, so they're not too worried about it. More strong supports, Leshrac gets banned out, and I mean, Dreamz are doing the same thing, banning out those strong supports. They banned the Keeper of the Light, which ForLove used in one of the two games previously, and two other supports, so both teams will be somewhat limited as to what they can get in terms of supports. Lena's still in the pool, who does combo with Chaos Knight, but Dreamz are going to pick up Enigma, so a jungle Enigma, I imagine, considering that they have the Darkseer as a side lane solo or potential jungle himself. So one of those two heroes probably going to go into the jungle, and they're going to see a Chaos Knight dual lane. Maybe the Chaos Knight with the Rubik, since they're somewhat limited to supports.
I love it. This is a classic Chinese hero. The Bat Rider gets picked up, and I gotta say, a fantastic hero to have. In the laning phase, can really punish a lot of these heroes. Even a hero like Darkseer might not die to Bat Rider, but he's not going to be happy if he ends up laning against him. Can go to the off lane, although they have plenty of other heroes who can look to do so. The lanes for both of these teams wide open. You talked about the likely jungle from either the Enigma or the Darkseer, probably the Enigma. But if they wanted to, they could try lane the CK, the Rubik, and then get one more hero to go with them. And run Darkseer and Enigma solos. That's just how versatile this Dreamz draft is. Really leaving their options open, even with only one pick left. So we'll have to see where they go from here. But they definitely have their choice, and it's a DK. This will probably be their solo mid. So it looks like a CK Rubik, most likely going to be in that safe lane. CK getting the farm. DK going solo mid. Probably going to see a lot of bottle crowing from him. And I just want to mention the sort of the traditional Pinoy Dragon Knight build is to rush a Shadow Blade, use him as an initiator, use it to push more aggressively, then have your escape mechanism. So we'll see if they go for that, but it's a lot of fun to watch when it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something where a lot of teams, you'll catch people by surprise with that Shadow Blade into your DK stun. You can follow up with aggression coming from the Rubik, the Chaos Knight, and it's a very powerful tool on a DK. Probably going to see Jules playing that in the mid lane, but ForLove, I mean, they're treating this. I mean, this looks very sort of Dota 1, like 6.58 BS with their lineup. I mean, the defensive Earthshaker lane, the Batrider pick. I mean, you mentioned it was a top pick in Chinese Dota for a long, long time. It's as of late been less popular with the even Dota 1 metagame, but with the recent buffs, he's sort of been boosted up back into the limelight, I believe. And we're going to see a lot of Batrider. Teams like Dignitas were using him just yesterday, and a lot of teams are starting to pick him up. So ForLove trying him out as well. We'll see what their last hero is. I imagine they want to just pick up some kind of support, maybe a hero even like a disruptor here, just some sort of stable support hero who's not going to not going to be sort of too much of a liability. And they're running out of time though. So where do they want to go?
I'm not sure. You mentioned Disruptor. I feel Twin-Headed Dragon is a hero that could fit into this lineup between Fissure and Ice Path. I mean, good luck setting up a nice team fight with those two abilities on the table now. It should also be mentioned there's now a lot of good spells for Rubik to steal. I think the biggest one is going to be that Fissure. Even at level 1, Fissure is a devastating spell, especially combo it with heroes like Darkseer and Enigma. But he has to get to level 6, and it looks like he will be one of the supports for this team. I don't know where they go. They have a Queen of Pain, they have Prophet, and the Batrider, all fairly farm dependent. And I feel if this game goes past the 30-minute mark, ForLove are definitely going to need a blink on that Earthshaker to deal with the team fight and the Chain Stuns of Dreamz, which means he needs a little bit of farm too, more so than perhaps in other games with Earthshaker, where you can get away with just spamming that Fissure. But forget about that, they say. They pick up the Anti-Mage. So what does this do for our lanes now?
Well, we're looking at a Prophet jungle, I'm guessing. Prophet jungle with the Batrider in that off lane. That'll work out okay, because it's not like Batrider's going to be up against a tri-lane where he'll get completely zoned out of the lane. He'll be up against a strong dual lane in this Chaos Knight plus Rubik, probably, or maybe even a 1v1 matchup, depending how Dreamz want to lane this. So I think this pick works for ForLove. I mean, it's a greedy pick, but it's... I mean, well, Dreamz have done something similar. They're running an Enigma jungle, which in some sense is quite greedy as well. So it should work out okay for both teams. And I think the Anti-Mage is one of the few hard carries who didn't really get nerfed too badly with the recent patch. I mean, Morphling took quite a bit of a hit. Lone Druid, not too poorly nerfed. I mean, you can't resummon the bear when it's taking damage, but I think he's sort of seeing less play anyways. I think Anti-Mage is still such a really powerful carry, and when picked up this late, maybe Dreamz just aren't going to be ready for it, although they do have quite a bit of DPS in the DK, the Chaos Knight. They've got the Wall of Replica from Darkseer, so I don't think they're going to be thinking, oh crap, we can't beat this. They're thinking, okay, we got to outplay this.
Right, absolutely. It should be mentioned, Morphling got all of his limbs and extremities absolutely chopped up. I mean, he is just not the same Waterman that he used to be. AM's gotten some very minor nerfs, the blink cast animation, just a hair longer, which can make the difference against heroes like DK, to get in range to use that Dragon Tail. Same for CK as well. It can make a difference, but, and 1 armor in the previous patch, but very slight reductions to him. It's nothing like what we saw with Morphling, where it's just across the board, significant nerfs. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. For the moment, we have Earthshaker. Don't actually know what we should call this guy. I'll leave that up to you to sort of figure out. Maybe we'll call him House, because that symbol sort of looks like
his name is U, like Y-O-U.
Okay, yeah. We'll call him U then. So U playing that Earthshaker, headed to the Suicide lane, and it looks like he'll be supporting 8GK playing the Batrider. Solo mid, Queen of Pain, be handled by Gwai. Up top, it's Hansi playing the Anti-Mage. Will be farming in this lane. The pull camp has been blocked off, and finally it will be Boo. I'm mispronouncing that, aren't I? But he's playing the Prophet. He'll be jungling, and he's got 6 clarities. It looks like he's been pulled a clarity, in fact.
Yeah, it's a lot of clarities, a lot of mana. I mean, I feel like he'd almost just pick up a mantle or something to boost up his overall mana pool or something there. It's actually Banana, the new addition to their team.
Banana,
okay. Nirvana China player playing for ForLove. Over on the Dream side, though, it is going to be Jules actually playing the off-lane solo. He's playing the Darkseer this game, leaving the solo mid DK to Oe, who's going to be looking to get up that fast bottle probably in the middle lane. We've got Enigma in the jungle being played by JYC or Patty. We've got Weiss up playing the Rubik at bottom, and then finally, for Dreamz, is the Chaos Knight being played by L.
Oh, what a Fissure trap there, but throwing the Earthshaker back into the tower. Some nice blows being traded. No real big aggression just yet. But a nice Fissure block can get this Rubik killed, absolutely. Even having an ability like Telekinesis will not save you once Bat hits. He only really needs to hit level 2. The one downside to ForLove, and we're sort of seeing what we talked about, a little bit of the greed of this lineup, is the AM is forced to solo top. He hasn't been pulled any regen, in fact. A poor man shield wouldn't help him here, but he's not starting with one, so they're really not investing too much in getting his farm. Not a bad matchup as far as melee heroes go to deal with Darkseer. At the same time, that Ion Shell is always going to be annoying. So his farm so far, so good, 5-1, but is slowly having to chew through those tangos, and we might see him once that Soul Ring comes up, needing to ferry out a salve or 2.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be I mean, I think this will work slightly better for Dreamz in the top lane, having the Darkseer there. Anti-Mage is going to have to contest with the tower a lot for last hits, with the Iron Shell pushing it out. Darkseer will get a fast Soul Ring. That Iron Shell is not fun to farm against as an Anti-Mage. I mean, he gets 1 point in the spell shield early on, but it still does a lot of damage over time whenever he goes in for those last hits. But ForLove, they'll make up for it elsewhere. I mean, it's not all about the Anti-Mage this game. They've got a Jungle Nature's Prophet, who I imagine will rush a Midas. They've got Queen of Pain mid. They've got other sources of damage, so Anti-Mage doesn't even have to go for that Battle Fury pure late game build. He can go for the Vanguard Treads, Vlad's Manta style, with that different sort of more tanky build. He may still go for the Battle Fury, but I don't feel it's essential.
Oh wait, no bottle picked up yet. Has chewed through all of his regen, really taking a lot of harassment just from that level 1 Shadow Strike. Bottom lane though, it looks like just some Enigma illusions. The main hero continuing to farm. I want to point out that he's constantly making sure to deny creep from mid whenever he can. That's the nice thing about farming the safe camp. Very easy to do that without really wasting any time at all. And then of course going to the jungle farm with your Eidolon. So just doing a little bit to slow down this Queen of Pain, but it's still a tough lane for the DK. I guess we could call it pretty even up top. 12-1 on the AM. 12-0 on the Darkseer, but he's out of mana now. So as far as top lane goes, call it a wash. Mid lane, Queen of Pain seems to be getting the edge here in terms of the harassment, in terms of the farm as well. And then the bottom lane for the moment, how are we doing there? CK 11-0, Rubik getting some pulls, some levels, but overall nobody really dominating any of these lanes.
Yeah, I mean, this is so far pretty, I mean, passive laning from both teams. I mean, you're not expecting too many kills in the first 5 minutes of a game, unless it is something like Moscow 5 with PGG playing. This is kind of how you're expecting to go. The movement's going to come a bit later on. Maybe the Queen of Pain at mid will find a useful rune to go gank. Enigma, once he gets his level 4, level 5, can look for an opening. And we see the first movement. It's actually Earthshaker leaving Batrider at bottom. So Earthshaker's come mid, possibly looking to set up a kill. This is really the power of Earthshaker. You sit behind a hero in fog and wait for that opening, and he's waiting patiently, trying to get O at mid lane out of position.
Yeah, and he actually had to buy a set of tangos, can't even rush the bottom. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Chaos Knight charges in, only level 3 though, really not getting that many levels. He hasn't had the lane to himself, Rubik has been here quite a bit. I think we've only seen 1, maybe 2 pulls thus far, so not allowing him to get that many levels. You compare that to AM, the safe lane hero for FL, the farmer in that side of the map. He's already level 5, so really pulling ahead in terms of levels. First Blood, bottom though, Batrider charges in, looks like they use all the spells just to combo him down. That is the power of their Chain Stun. Little surprised he got caught because he saw Rubik posturing in. Then he ends up out of position anyway a few seconds later.
Yeah, and that's what happens with Earthshaker leaving that bottom lane. I mean, he was towards mid. If he had been staying bottom, he would have been in position to prevent that gank from happening. And that's where it's really hard to play Earthshaker. I mean, that's not really his fault. He's thinking, okay, if I go mid, there's a chance I'll get a kill. But then there's a risk where bottom lane, you may have to give up one there. And he comes back, but it's too late. The kill's already been given up. So he's now the back Batrider, but it's not looking good for Darkseer.
Uh-oh, Jules in a lot of trouble. I don't know if he should have used the Soul Ring there. Really dropping low, but what a juke there. Running all the way to the left instead of straight back, which might seem like a minor deal, but definitely saved his life. Rubik being chased by Batrider. Only 1 point, only 1 sticky napalm stack so far, but a Fissure and a Firefly could spell his doom. Pulled back in by Chaos Knight, but Chaos Knight is now burning, and he does not want to tank that damage. In comes Enigma as well, ushering away the Batrider. Looks like the fight will be over, and maybe Earthshaker will be the one to die here. Only level 3. Malefice and a 3-second stun. More than enough chain to bring him down, and the aggression being punished. Earthshaker, great defensive hero, but very difficult to run away on that lumbering oath.
Yeah, and Dreamz has done the smart thing, which is get these fast magic sticks on Chaos Knight as well as Rubik. So, I mean, if they get jumped on, they're going to have all those charges building up to allow them to use more spells. Chaos Knight, a hero who runs out of mana very quickly in a lane, especially a lane where you're being aggressive. These magic stick charges there is more important for the mana than the actual HP. So, Batrider and the Earthshaker bottom lane not really working out according to plans for ForLove.
It's a slight lead right now for the Radiant as far as experience goes. As far as gold goes, they also have a slight lead there, so in spite of giving up, or in spite of at times looking like they're having some trouble in the mid lane, they're still doing pretty well over Y, hitting level 7 already as Queen of Pain, only level 5 on the Dragon Knight, and this is in spite of the Enigma denies mid. Really nice last name by Queen of Pain. 13 denies, 37 last hits. DD already active and now heading down bottom for an Invis rune. Unfortunately, there's a ward here, so most likely won't be able to set up a kill right now, but maybe later on could look to do so. Will she pop it? Is rotating back towards mid. Looks like Treads will be her item of choice, and they are just going to back off, I believe. Oh, wait, runs in, pops the ult, and the Dragon Tail. There is a black hole for this. The Courier comes in, but the Invis rune gets popped, and there's no detection. So that'll be the end of that little skirmish.
Yeah, Guay this mid lane is just completely out farming the DK. I mean, DK with 14 creep kills to Queen of Pain's 37. Big mismatch there.
Bottom lane, Batrider taking a lot of damage, but not going to die. Queen of Pain TP's in, throws the ult, and not an airball this time. We've been seeing a lot of Queen of Pains miss their ult, but Rubik just TP's away. There's no enchant totem. There was no way to cancel that TP. 4 heroes bottom. They only get 1. They really wanted to get 2 with that many heroes rotating in. And now the middle lane, the counter push going to come immediately. Dragon Knight ult plus the Enigma, level 7, maxed out demonic conversions, wailing away on this tower, and I think they're out pushing ForLove, even with 4 heroes there. In fact, Y is going to rotate back mid, but really has to be careful. A Malefice or a Dragon Tail will most likely get him killed, because there is a black hole to follow up.
Yeah, he can't come in too close here. I mean, he's going to go in for the deny. Doesn't actually manage to get it. So that's some much needed gold going the way of this DK. I mean, he's been bottle chrome, but he just hasn't quite kept up to par in terms of farms. So he's going to look to keep on farming here. They may want to get back bottom to defend. There's still 3 heroes there. Actually, no, Nature's Prophet TP's home. So it looks like ForLove, they just don't have the heroes to really push and pressure lanes. I mean, especially when you're having an anti-mage solo, and Nature's Prophet in the jungle, and a Batrider ES. It's not really an aggressive pushing lane. Maybe you can get some kills, but for now, it's all about farming for that mid-game. Around the 15-20 minute mark, they can start looking to group up and push maybe.
The AM is getting a lot of farm. He's actually leading the net worth chart. He's got his Quelling Blade, he's got his Ring of Health. Darkseer's Iron Shell doesn't really bother him anymore. Gotta say, very impressive play by him. Was not pulled any regen, didn't really have an easy lane matchup. At least not that easy, and he just dominated the lane. Queen of Pain now, 3,200 net worth on her. So overall, it is Dreamz with the more balanced gold and experience distribution, but ForLove getting a lot of heroes, a lot of farm and experience onto their 2 key heroes, the Queen of Pain and the anti-mage. And AM with this good of start can be a real nuisance in the mid-game.
Yeah, anti-mage with this much farm, I mean, he's picked up the Ring of Health here, so it looks like he could be going for the Battle Fury. Hasn't bought his Vanguard as of yet, and Queen of Pain at mid. I mean, treads up, Illusion Orb is being bottled, brings up some Observe Wards for the team, and will probably look to sort of rotate around the map. Maybe he's going to have to defend this bottom lane.
Prophet is going to go down, just a little bit too aggressive with the TP. Dreamz was prepared for that one. They don't actually have vision, but just spotting that Prophet out, picking him off, and now moving back to the tower. Guai has joined the fight as well, not farming, and notice how Owe, the 2 solo heroes, the Darkseer and the Dragon Knight, are not leaving their lanes. This is how the Pinoy teams play. Their solos farm, their solos push. They don't participate too much in fights early on, even if they're heroes they can, but in the mid game they become real nuisances to deal with. Looks like DK rotates in bottom, finally going to do something about this aggression. Guai is really overextending here, will just barely blink away, but a 2-second stun. Fissure defensively, but the reality ripped back in. That's 1 kill. Now Owe joins the fight as well. Earthshaker probably going to go down. There's your Dragon Tail. Rubik throwing back the Batrider. Fire flying away, just has to abandon it, but Black Hole catching out both, and that is 2 more kills. Score will now be 6-1. Almost pulled over the Fissure by the reality rift, but he'll get out of there, or he won't get out of there in spite of it all. Illusion's just sort of sitting bottom, maybe trying to deny this wave with the Queen of Pain Illusion. Great engagement for Dreamz, and now things are really looking good for them.
Yeah, I mean, amazing rotation. I mean, the entire time, like you say, Jules is still in his lane. He doesn't come unless it's needed. He's prioritizing getting farm. Maybe he could have come and helped out win that fight even faster, but Dreamz, they're good at sort of spreading the map. I mean, they don't really bring more than what they need. They did bring the DK, but he kind of came because Queen of Pain was there. He just had to sort of match where his opposing number went, and Dreamz going to get a tower out of this as well, so really increasing their lead, not just winning the team fight, getting towers as well, so this is really consolidating.
Chaos Knight eats the ult, the Fissure to counter initiate, a lot of damage onto him. Telekinesis throwing the Batrider towards their team, maybe not what they wanted to do. Enigma, no Black Hole, this is going to be at least 2 kills. Can they find more sticky napalm? 2 charges up onto the Rubik. They continue the chase. Batrider flying high, giving them that vision. The Firefly wears off, but Queen of Pain dives. 3 kills, and we talked about not overextending, not being overly aggressive, and it seems like Dreamz just did that. One of the downsides to being a lineup that likes to play aggressively, players that like to kind of get these kills, sometimes you overextend, and ForLove in position, they punish the mistakes.
Yeah, we could be in for another sort of slightly back and forth game like we had in their first matchup, and we're going to see Dreamz now. They actually do see Jules actually TPing towards the bottom lane to help deal with this big creep wave, maybe just with his teammates dead and the big creep wave that was there. He wants to keep on farming. He's up to 1,500 gold. The most farm for his team, although he's still behind both Anti-Mage and Queen of Pain. So a bit of a way to go for Dreamz in terms of farm on their core heroes. I mean, their damage dealers DK and Chaos Knight really aren't farming all that much. So that's a bit of a concern if this game goes too much into the late game. Dreamz really have to do well, group up, get some big team fights using this Darkseer and the big mid-game hitters that they've got.
Yeah, the Dragon Knight especially really struggling. Oh wait, just not getting that much farm. Only sitting on 41 CS. You compare that to his opponent, the Queen of Pain, who is mid, and she's got 70. Plus just having more involvement in these fights overall. 1-1-3 versus 1-0-1. And it looks like they were listening because they smoke up and they immediately head, well, not towards top. In fact, the Eidolon's going to just push this lane out with the demonic conversions of Enigma. Now they're going to rotate in. They successfully clear that hill, getting up to high ground. Could kill Hansi, I feel, if they find him, but not sure they will. Rotating all the way around. In fact, he might blink backwards towards this camp. Actually, he's already killed it, so perhaps not. Not sure if they're going to catch him. He's got 2 more auto attacks on this creep. They still are not going on him. In fact, they're just going to stop to farm, so buying that smoke just to enable them to travel. Now they catch out 1. That'll be the Batrider. Should be a kill here. The DK stun. No. Where is the follow-up? They just don't have it. He's doing a great job using that high ground to his advantage, going up and down the hills, but finally 8GK will get picked off. 4 heroes spending a lot of time to get that kill, but if they get Prophet as well, it might be worth it. Prophet, just running for his life, is going to stop to place a ward before dying in vision of this Chaos Knight. Meanwhile, top they are continuing to die. Prophet sprouts, wants to run away. AM gets stunned by the Dragon Knight. Absolutely chaotic fight, and now Gwai joins the fight. This is the big hitter for ForLove right now. Blink away, stolen from the anti-mage. 2 blinks available for this guy to steal, and meanwhile, finally that Prophet goes down. The Benny Hill music was playing throughout that chase, but in the end, he cannot escape that angry knight.
Yeah, and I was also imagining some Benny Hill music while Rubik was flying around in his broomstick. He managed to steal the Firefly during that fight, which was pretty entertaining to watch. And Dreamz, I mean, they get it. Once again, they get 1 or 2 pickoffs there. I mean, not as big as a team fight they won in bottom lane, but they fold up with a tower again. DK and Enigma using that pushing potential of theirs to take down towers. They were even going to maybe try go for this 2nd tier tower. I have to worry though, is this going to be another similar overextension like we saw at bottom lane?
Well, they do have the Black Hole online, and that makes this fight very difficult. Oh, Anti-Mage is about to be caught. 2-second stun. Pulled back in by the Telekinesis. Followed up by the Dragon Tail. Just such a nice stun combo. The chain stun on this team is absolutely insane. I want to say offhand there's like 8 or 10 stuns. Meanwhile, probably not that many, but probably around 8. Batrider on the bottom lane, meanwhile, is going to find a kill. And it's the Darkseer who has been farming a lot, so a decent kill, but they're not getting towers off of these kills. And despite having the Prophet, they're getting heavily outpushed.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the difference is this time Dreamz being much smarter with their push. They've got vision, they've got the map awareness, that ward on the hill just allowing them to make sure that they're not going to get ganked to this top lane, whereas bottom lane, they were pushing blind, they didn't know what was coming. So they're going to have to get back now. It looks like ForLove want to go for this bottom tier 1 though. They've got a couple heroes lurking around in that bottom jungle, and Dreamz, they don't have much vision around there. They probably don't know quite how many heroes are coming down.
Yeah, Banana is really wants to get this tower. He's got the Midas up going towards the treads. TP comes in from the Darkseer, who has a Vanguard and a Cloak, very tanky. Can look to dive this and tank a bunch of spells, and it looks like they're going to back off. Jules just kind of trying to bait them in. They really should not force this one. I feel this Darkseer is way too tanky, and in the end they will back off. Owe out of nowhere up to 2k gold. Just a few moments ago, he just had these items that we see now, and no gold. In fact, he pops the DD, wants to dive this Earthshaker just out of range, and he'll barely escape with his life.
Yeah, I mean, he hadn't that much farm, but I think the key thing is he hasn't died. He's picked up a couple towers for his team, and all that tower gold, combined with the fact he hasn't been ganked, has just allowed him to sort of stay in this game, although he does get caught out at mid lane, and that's going to slow him down, and that's really what he couldn't afford to happen. He was managing to just stay on par in terms of farm with tower gold, as well as, I mean, not having died, but getting picked off like that is going to slow down that Lothars or BKB.
Yeah, whatever he wants to go to. Meanwhile, top lane, AM just can't get into the lane. Gets this Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight's such a great hero to deal with AM. Hits so incredibly hard that AM, especially if you're going for the Battle Fury build, Anti-Mage just cannot tank all that damage. So we see him playing very defensively, just farming the jungle instead. But he is about to get the Battle Fury, getting very close. Just going to need the Broadsword at this point, or the Void Stone in just a few hundred gold, depending on what he chooses to buy. Either way, he's going to have it in the next couple of minutes. So I feel, even though ForLove is down, it is still Dreamz who have to be careful not to overextend. Like you said, their hitters, the Chaos Knight, the DK, not really that big. And here's an item that can catch you and punish you for being out of position. It's the Blink Dagger coming out for 8GK on the Batrider.
Yeah, they're going to be looking to get pickoffs all over the map. Batrider's still very squishy, so he blinks in Lassu's one. He needs to make sure he's got backup nearby, and that hero he's going in on doesn't have heroes in the near vicinity. Otherwise, he will drop very fast with just 1k HP. But it's one of those items where you just want to sort of maybe start smoking around the map, look for those lone heroes, especially heroes like Darkseer who have been solo pushing and farming for a lot of this game. And I mean, we saw Jules get picked off recently in the bottom lane by Batrider. Now it's even easier to do with this Blink Dagger up.
It is, but when you buy an item like Blink, you want to make kills happen with it. So far, they haven't gotten any. Let's see if they can pick any up. It's going to be harder to find those kills because of the loss of towers, because of the limited map control they have. In fact, Hansi is going to be spotted out by the Rubik. We'll have to see if they want to go for this. It's just going to steal Blink instead. So many good escape spells from the steal. The 2 Blink abilities, as well as, like you mentioned, Firefly with Rubik on his broomstick. Just sort of escaping any which way he pleases. And it looks like just basically a stalemate here. Both teams content to farm. Nobody really forcing the issue, but finally ForLove is going to head towards bottom. Blink on the Batrider catches out the Chaos Knight, but very tanky with the Vanguard. Echo Slam in, not really doing enough damage. Look at Jules surviving through this. In fact, probably going to turn this one out around and get a kill. Earthshaker dropping low. Black Hole catches a few after the Queen of Pain ult, and stolen back by the Rubik, and now screaming at that Queen of Pain, who is the one in pain at this point. Batrider pushes Enigma away, pulled back in. Everybody on Dreamz far too tanky, and it just wasn't enough. They could not take that fight. ForLove are punished heavily. Dreamz, perhaps anticipating that, they had pretty much the whole team ready for that one.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on. They're just too tanky. I mean, the Vanguard on CK, Vanguard on Darks. I mean, all these heroes went for really cost-effective sort of early game items. I mean, you got a mech, straight mech on the Enigma. Didn't go for a blink. Didn't go straight for BKB. Got the 2k goldish mech, and that's really helped the entire team stay alive. The Vanguard's just blocking a lot of damage, giving them extra survivability, and Dreamz just having that extra survivability is what won them that fight. And Anti-Mage still just not able to take part. I mean, he's got to really just farm for the late game, so ForLove need to be careful with where they pick their fights.
He's got the Battle Fury, but it's extremely late. It's an 18-minute Battle Fury, which is to be expected that it'll be slow when he's up against the Darkseer, when he's had a lot of pressure into his lane, the tower's being pushed down. But at 18 minutes, I just don't know if this Battle Fury is enough to outfarm the enemy squad. Dreamz already getting their core items up. They can look to keep the pressure up. Now we see the Shadow Blade on OA going for that aggressive item, allowing you to get pickoffs here and there, and forcing out probably going to be some more sentries and dusts once ForLove realize what he's up to. And well, that's something their supports really don't want to have to buy right now. Earthshaker only seeing Arcane Boots, not even close to a Blink Dagger. To me, I think they need to find a way to give him that Blink. The only way I see them winning a big fight right now is if he's able to get a great Echo Slam initiation before the pipe gets popped, once it's up on Darkseer. And it's coming pretty soon. The hood is already complete.
Yeah, and he's still a long way away from that Blink Dagger. I don't even think ForLove can afford to give him that farm. They need Anti-Mage farming on the map. Even heroes like Queen of Pain, Nature's Prophet still need to keep getting up items. I mean, Nature's Prophet maybe going to go for a mech for the team. I feel they just need that additional survivability. I mean, there's not massive AoE coming from the Radiant side, but it's an item where whoever's getting focused, the bonus armor, the heal, will help keep heroes alive, and even Anti-Mage can benefit from all that. So for now, ForLove need to get their next level items up, and I mean, I agree, they need that Blink Dagger and Earthshaker, but it's so far away.
Here comes the Shadow Blade. This is how they like to do it. Pinoy style Dragon Knight. Easy kill or not. Queen of Pain blinks out. One more auto attack would have sealed his fate. Great escape. A little bit lucky as well. Anti-Mage spots out Chaos Knight, and Chaos Knight just ignores him. L's just gonna run away. Really think he could have killed him there with a nice stun, but just not even gonna bother. Just wants to push mid with this team. He is level 11. He's gonna have 3 Chaos Knights to work with. The Vacuum into the Black Hole combo, cooling down on the Black Hole. 40 seconds to go. But remember, Rubik, oh, he's stolen Sonic Wave again. Or maybe it just cooled down. No, it's just cooled down. It's about to expire, in fact. But he still got it, which means this team fight is absolutely insane right now. And if ForLove see that, they probably should back off. Batrider runs in, blinks away. Darkseer fishing for an opening, but not going to find. Looks like they're going to forfeit the tier 2 in exchange for some pressure on that bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, this is the last outer tower left standing. I mean, Dreamz getting really consolidating their lead, getting further and further ahead. It's still not a massive lead. I mean, they're up by over 5k gold, but considering they've taken 6 outer towers and they've got, I mean, some decent mid-game heroes. I mean, they're not really that far ahead, as they could be, but that comes down to Anti-Mage and Queen of Pain leading the CS charts. Both those heroes with a lot of farm. Queen of Pain now with enough gold for that Aghanim Scepter, which is a great way to sort of sit in your base, prevent any pushes from happening. That low cooldown on Aghanim Scepter is just the perfect thing to have. Although, he hasn't actually bought it yet. I mean, he's got enough gold for it. Maybe this is just going to be a BKB for the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, BKB is also a great item to get on Queen of Pain. Although this game, there's so many stuns, and a lot of them are ranged. Batrider jumps on the Darkseer, catching him out with the lasso, but look how tanky he is. I don't know if they can bring him down. Prophet ult is going to connect, barely denting Jules. He's got the vacuum, he has the wall, and he's got a full wand. Vacuum in. Where's that wall? He's not going to use it. Just going to accept his fate and probably die here. Surging away, blink it over the top, and another scream. Buying time as well for this AM, who's... This is something Zoe talked about in an interview with It's Gosu, is it's your job as a one-position player, as a carry. You get that safe lane in the early game, but when the mid-game, when the late game comes, It's your job to take the dangerous farm and free up those easier to farm, safer camps on your team side of the map. For heroes like the Earthshaker, like the Queen of Pain, and that's what we see from Hansi. He's farming the enemy jungle, the bottom lane, way away from the rest of the team, almost this entire game, which means it's a lot easier for the Earthshaker to get a little bit of farm, and in fact, he's only 1,000 gold away from that blink.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, it's really smart play by ForLove. I mean, and like you say, Joe mentioned it, you farm in the dangerous parts of the map. I mean, you generally, those heroes have an escape store, anti-mages, morphlings. They're heroes who are hard to gank unless you bring 4 or 5 heroes in. Then it becomes obvious when there's that many heroes missing. So right now, Dreamz need to be careful. I mean, they're giving ForLove a lot of space to farm, and ForLove are really using it well.
It should be mentioned, look at the gold and experience charts, as it felt like just Dreamz pulling away with this one, but with the Battle Fury Anti-Mage, with the Prophet and the Midas, and Queen of Pain getting some big farm, she has opted for the BKB. That's not complete. They're not far behind. In fact, I would say this lead, one big team fight going ForLove's way, and they'll at least be close to even, if not quite there. One thing Dreamz could have done at this point, I think, but have opted not to do just yet, is go for Hiroshi, and they have some good lane wards. No real vision up towards the Dire Ancients. I would like to see a ward being placed there. They could look to get caught out otherwise, and perhaps position your Enigma a bit farther back so you can counter-initiate, but they're just going to go for this one. Rubik, very bold to go up that hill, though they did see a few heroes on the map. Now they have some more vision, and it looks like this Roshan will be traded for just pushing out the other lanes, getting some farm.
Yeah, I mean, Dreamz has set boards all around the Roshan pit. They're feeling pretty safe here. They haven't got Sentry, so a smoke could have worked to get past, but Dreamz are going to get the Aegis for themselves, and that's going to help them out here. DK with an Aegis. He's trying to build his BKB, and I feel the thing is for Dreamz, they can't really stop all the farm going ForLove's way because they haven't picked up all their core items, and they're still trying to get the BKB on Dragon Knight. They still want the BKB Enigma. Enigma's a great late game here with the Blink BKB.
This is further going to slow them down. Darkseer dies, and in fact, they had 3 heroes already grouped up mid, and the Enigma not far off, but now with that death, buys more time for Hansi to continue farming, and he's really pulling away at this point. For a while, he was not on top of the farm charts, but now he's already 700 gold ahead of Chaos Knight. You got to keep in mind, a lot of this gold is coming from towers, as they have lost all of their outer towers. So Hansi leading the farm charts by a significant margin, 155 CS for him. And at this rate, if they can just keep on finding a couple kills, that could be trouble. But 4-second stun mid onto Gwai. Can they get in range? Rubik steals out the Scream Pain, tossing him back into the middle of the team, and they will find the kill. So a counter kill for Dreamz. Is it enough to push with Darkseer respawning? Might force a Queen of Pain buyback, and she does have one if she needs it.
Yeah, I mean, they'll try and force it out. I think ForLove should be okay. I mean, they've got the Firefly, their Flame Break, ES Fissures, the Prophet Ultimate. They've got plenty of things to defend this mid lane with, and hopefully Queen of Pain doesn't have to buy back for them. But right now, I mean, Antimate's still continuing to get his farm on at the top lane. He's just about got enough gold for that Manta style, so he's well on his way to taking this game into the late game. We're just 25 minutes in, so Antimate is well on par.
Yeah, and it's the Prophet on one side of the map, the Anti-Mage on the other. Just split pushing means such nuisances. This is what ForLove want to do with their lineup. You talked about it earlier. The wall drop preemptively. Not sure about that decision from Jules. Maybe he pressed the wrong hotkey or something. But the wall is now down. I suppose if they run close, you can vacuum them. But normally you like to wait and make sure you're going to hit a good wall there. Sieging out the tower. But bottom lane, the Glyph already forced. The Treants breach the high ground. Anti-Mage, meanwhile, pushing top. They're going to have to trade. Decide soon, do they want to give up this Rax or not? It looks like they're going to. The wall should be dispelled any second now, but they're going to lose Rax in exchange. Just giving it away. I thought maybe they could fight, but they don't have to blink on Earthshaker. Now Queen of Pain jumps in, but will she find anyone? Batrider dragging away that Darkseer. Darkseer taking a lot of damage. Will there be a fissure onto him? No, I believe it's cooling down at the moment. Anti-Mage rejoins the fight. Nobody has died yet, so a Rax basically for free. And in fact, the fight continues. It's the Earthshaker getting caught out. Position Queen of Pain ult, beautiful ult, but the Enigma Black Hole is better. Catching out too. Fly is in a lot of trouble. Blinks away. Will he survive? Barely. The Malefice ticking down. Jules, one more swipe. There you go. Gets the Queen of Pain, and out of nowhere, despite not really doing anything with the wall, Jules has a triple kill and Rax for Dreamz. What a turn of events for Love. I don't know about that decision to base trade, but in retrospect, it looks pretty bad.
Yeah, it looks really bad for him. I mean, that was Jules, I mean, finally coming to this play. He used all that solo farm and experience to good use. I mean, he'd been on his own all game long, and there we go. Finally gets himself some kills, some teamfight involvement, and they get a Rax as well. A double Rax. They gets the both melee and range Rax, and they're in a great position now. I mean, all their heroes get a bunch of gold for that. They can see BKB up on Dragon Knight, and this Chaos Knight, he's the one who's looking really fun with BKB Vanguard treads, 3k gold on top of that, can start building towards his heart or his Manta style. ForLove definitely not out of this. I mean, when you've got an anti-mage losing one set of Raxes, even at 26 minutes, I mean, no problem. This hero can easily hold and push back those strong creeps coming down the mid lane. He's getting farmed. 3.3k gold, maybe go for if he wants to have to team fight, he's going to BKB. If he's going to keep trying to split push, he may go for the Vlads, may go for a heart, may go for a butterfly. BKB will be the option though if he's going to be forced to team fight, which it seems like Dreamz are trying to do. They're going to group up as 5, try push down the bottom or top lane next.
It should be mentioned Anti-Mage was forced to buy back at some point in that engagement. Did not catch that initially, but that is going to slow his farm down. Otherwise, he would pretty much have his Manta style and be working towards probably the Heart, maybe the Butterfly to deal with all these auto attacks from the Chaos Knight, from the Dragon Knight. This slows him down a lot. So the Manta style at least will be available. The buyback cooling down for 3 minutes, so I see no reason to delay this. Should probably buy it soon. He also has Tranquil Boots, not Power Treads, would probably want to switch into those fairly soon. Get that they were buffed as well, so they give you an extra 5 attack speed now compared to the previous iteration of Power Treads. But for the moment, just pressuring top, trying to stall this game and force some TPs. And for the moment, I believe he'll be successful. Dreamz are going to TP out.
Yeah, Dreamz need to probably push out these lanes a bit better before they do try group up and push. Antimate's still top, and this is what you got to do at this point as that one position Antimate. You got to keep forcing Dreamz to come back, defend whichever lane they're not pushing, and it's going to slow down the push for Dreamz. Give Antimate space to farm, give his teammates space to get their next level of items up as well, and just alleviate a lot of that pressure. Earthshaker with a Blink Dagger this fight is going to be looking for that big opening.
Oh no, I don't really like the positioning here from Earthshaker. Charges in the wall. Oh, he's going to get Reality Ripped back in. This could be trouble, but the BKB being countered by the lasso. Nice job, Earthshaker, so incredibly low. The Courier out of position as well. Always says, forget about the Courier, I want the Earthshaker, but he's actually going to escape back into the fountain. Great play. A bunch of BKBs used in this fight, and it looks like for the moment, they are going to be able to take down the tower. The Phantasm used as well, working on the Rex. Blaze BKB now being countered with, and will they actually go in? Oh wait, dropping low, kills off that Necronomicon minion. Oh, they got a retouch to these models. They don't actually breach the Rex, though. They do take out that tier 3, and maybe the next effort will bring them sort of over the top and get that second lane. Pretty lucky for that Earthshaker to live there, I gotta say.
Yeah, that could have gone worse if he'd gone down. He didn't. Well, I mean, he didn't actually do anything to defend, so I mean, lucky that he lived. But I think even whether he died or lived there, either way, he's not in position to defend. He's not. He maybe threw down an extra fissure, but he didn't get a chance to use that ultimate. Still just level 10 as well, so just a level 1 ultimate, and we have to wait to see Antimage come on into the fight. Antimage has forgone getting Manta Style. He's picked up a straight BKB, so he's very intent on fighting and helping out in these team fights. I mean, without the Manta Style, he's missing a lot of DPS to some extent, but I guess he's just decided that those illusions aren't going to do enough damage. I mean, against these high armor heroes like Chaos Knight as well as the DK. DK especially, or sorry, CK especially, he's picked up a Reaver now, getting close to that heart. These are tanky heroes, so he wants the survivability so he can outlast them.
This is an interesting choice. They are down one lane of Rax, and it's getting to that point where AM is going to be forced to fight soon. I mean, Dreamz already took down a tier 3. They took the Rax down to half. We have a quick pause for the moment. Rubik has disconnected. Hopefully he'll be back soon. But like you said, I mean, it's all about combat now. The problem for me is, if AM gets stunned by anything before he uses this BKB, he's going to die. They have so many disables, the Dragon Tail, the Chaos Bolt, and also BKB doesn't really help you deal with the physical DPS of a hero like Chaos Knight, of a DK who doesn't have that many damage items, but does some decent damage, 160 per auto attack. Nothing to be sneezed at. Still not level 60, which is something I feel they really need. But I don't know how much this AM really can do with the BKB. He doesn't have that much DPS, and they're all so damn tanky. We now see a plate mail on the Darkseer. There's not too many easy kills. I mean, heck, even the Enigma, 1400 health, Mechanism, 12 armor, plus you gotta remember the pipe being dropped on top of them all is gonna make it even harder for AM to find kills.
Yeah, I don't know who the easy kills are gonna be. Rubik's probably the closest thing to that, but he's got a 4-stuff. He's gonna have, I mean, backup coming from, I mean, Enigma Black Hole if Antimate just wants to BKB run in. I mean, this is going to be really hard fight to take. I think Enigma's BKB must be finished. He spent a lot of that gold. Yeah, there's a Mithril Hammer and BKB recipe on Kuru, which probably belongs to this Enigma. So, Enigma with a BKB is going to be very hard to deal with. I mean, sure, you've got 2 spells to cancel that with the Mana Void as well as the Lasso, but both of those are kind of...
Oh, Echo Slam and the Queen of Pain ult over the top. They only pop the Aegis, though, and the wall not available at the moment. AM dives in, and he has the BKB. He will pop it now, but can't focus anyone. The Sprout actually working against him in that fight. They should be able to kill off the Enigma. Assassinated. One hero finally dead, but Hansi's going to pay for that. The BKB not enough. Earthshaker next in line. L gets another kill. Now Banana in a lot of trouble. Blink forward by the Rubik. Telekinesis available in 10 seconds. And this looks like 3 heroes dead, possibly more. Vacuum back in. The lone 2 survivors, the Bat Rider and the Queen of Pain. Oh boy, tough fight for them, and you can just see the tankiness of Dreamz too much right now for ForLove.
Yeah, too much tankiness is just right. I mean, right now, they go in. I mean, anti-mage, they get the Enigma, but they just overextend so much, and there's just no way. Once they kill the Enigma, there's no way they can get out without sustaining heavy losses, including the anti-mage. Their Nature's Prophet goes down, and this is going to be a second set of Raxes. I mean, Dreamz in almost a position where they can't lose this game now. Up 4 sets of Raxes with big items coming their way. Enigma still didn't even use the black hole that fight, just got jumped on, and Queen of Pain gonna do all she can to try win this fight here for his team. Popping the BKB, but Rubik just gonna TP out. Nope, doesn't. Sue goes down, Weissup goes down, but I don't think Dreamz are too concerned about that one pick off.
Especially when your Rubik is filthy rich, buys back immediately, still has 600 gold, and the 4-step, the drums, the arcane boots. One of the richer supports you'll see. Still chasing Jules, even if they kill him. This is such an outrageous chase. So much time being spent, meanwhile the mid lane pushing in. But it looks like Jules probably going to go down soon. The fire, oh, the bat not able. Nice body block by Gwei. Will he be able to get this kill? One more scream. Jules still alive. Jules cannot be killed. Finally, they're going to bring him down. It was 4 heroes chasing him, literally from the base all the way through the river. And I think he ran back and forth at one point as well. A lot of miles being covered. Those feet, those shoes are being worn out. Just trying to kill off Jules, and of course, what do you know? He immediately buys back. Now they're grouped up, probably going to be 5 top, looking to finish off this game.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, they've got everything they need up. All the ultimates are ready to go, and the Dire team, well, they're in a dire position right now. Necrobook 3 is up on the Nature's Prophet, but they need this match on Anti-Mage, I feel. With that, they can maybe take a fight, but right now he's still a long way away from that, and most of these series don't even have buybacks for this fight, so there's a big item deficit, and it's just going to be too hard to defend, I feel.
Well, you never know. Miracles do happen in Dota, but we'll have to see if they happen today. ForLove smoked up. They need a perfect Earthshaker initiation,
yeah,
and that gives them a fighting shot, but Dreamz are just being very patient here, not forcing the issue at all, waiting for that 5th hero. Now they're going to look to fight, and Chaos Knight has an army of illusions as well, so there will be, I believe, 7 Chaos Knights in this fight.
Oh, I think that's 6 too many.
Or 6, actually.
Maybe potentially 7, potentially even 7 too many Chaos Knights for ForLove to deal with. This is just going to be hard to defend. I don't know what they do with these illusions. They've got the Queen of Pain Ultimate, but Pipe Mech is going to help keep the illusions alive as well as all these Dreamz heroes.
Jules again just plopping that wall down, but at this point, I mean, it's so hard for FL to initiate. There you go. Queen of Pain jumps in, only level 14, is going to connect on 3. The Echo Slam as well, not really hitting anything though. Only a couple of heroes. BKBs popped everywhere. I think we have like 5 BKBs active right now. Black Hole is ready. Is he going to drop it? Catches out the 2 key heroes, and then AGK as well. Oh my goodness, it's a massacre. 3 heroes dead, and there's your GG. It's time to go next. ForLove know it. They're going to tap out. What a fight from Dreamz. Very patient and just too difficult to bring down.
Yeah, really patient. I mean, they were also just looking to extend their lead wherever possible. Much greater, much more, I'd say, more convincing than what happened on Saturday when they first ForLove. This time they really cut back on their mistakes. They made even fewer than they did before. Playing without Woots as a stand-in, but showing that they are even stronger maybe without him with their full roster intact. And they take a pretty convincing game number 1. I mean, ForLove had their moments. Despite losing all their towers, they weren't actually that far behind in Golden XP. I mean, they managed to sort of stay within 4K, but those team fights against the CK, the DK, when Antimage just didn't have enough farm, just didn't go their way.
You know, there might be some angry Woots fans posting right now on GoDz Facebook. Well, in 2 minutes time, we have a bit of a delay about how dare you say that they're better without Woots. How dare you, GoDz? But they did look really solid today, from what you've been saying. They struggled a little bit more in that first day of match play. So you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 is going to go the way of Dreamz. They are 1 game away from earning the opportunity to play against Flash Esports. We'll talk about them a little bit more later, but they looked absolutely dominating their first match in their round of 1 matchup. So we head into game number 2 with Dreamz taking a quick 1-0 lead. It was only a 33-minute game. It actually felt a bit longer to me at times. Very slow pace to the game, but Dreamz showing they don't have to rack up tons of kills to win a game, even against the Chinese team. That's going to do it for game number 1. Game number 2 coming back soon. I am LD of DotaCommentaries.com, joined, of course, by GGNet GoDz. And we are casting Dreamz versus ForLove, round 1 action for the G1 League Qualifier. Stay tuned for game number 2 coming your way in a jiffy.